clicked in record, and I will share my screen. Just a second. Yeah, okay. So this is the third one in our series of how to use the portal and give advice, suggestions, and a pathway around it. So I will go through how to use it, how to access it, and then we'll go on to accreditation. Then we'll go into some of the upgrades that we've undertaken. I say we, Nadia and I, have undertaken in the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks as well since the last one. So there is new information to share. So the portal is accessible both from the website and from the mobile. And if you want to follow it along by clicking the buttons, please do. I'll try not to go through at a whistle-stop pace. And for those that joined a few minutes ago, there is a Q&A if you want to ask questions, because I know a number of you do like to press the buttons as I'm trying to talk through this. So this screen, the main screen, has got what it looks like on the website, and then the screen on the right hand side is what it looks like from my phone, which is an old Apple, but there are, it does look identical on your respective mobiles as well as the standard web screen. So the way to navigate around the system, blue buttons mean it takes you to different areas of the website, and everywhere you see a blue button, i.e. a blue circled button with writing inside it, it means it's an active button. It means you can press. So this is the top of the web page, and as you can see how I've identified them here. So direct to company members. So if the company members on the screen on the call and you've got access, you can go directly to your page if you want to upgrade your membership, and I will cover that as well right at the end of this series, end of today. That takes you to upgrade your membership. If you want to send a message through to us from here, you can do, and I've just answered a query this morning. You want to log in, the most important bit, how to get in, and then how to become a member. White menu items have drop down, as you can see from the little upside down triangle. They have drop downs on them, and you'll see those as we go through the next couple of slides as I navigate round. And then at the bottom of the home page, we have this bar here moves. It scrolls around and shows all of our company members that have sent us their logos. There are company members that haven't yet done that, but I'm in the process of sorting those out. So that's a rolling screen. And also at the bottom here under the blue, again, blue means you can click, blue means you can get to various places on the web page. Then just above the very bottom of the home page is a direct feed into LinkedIn. I haven't changed this picture since Christmas, but if you were to go now, I think there's the awards, a video about the awards under the LinkedIn feed. Every time we post on LinkedIn, this particular section of the website gets updated. Click articles, that takes you to the latest technical papers and information that does get updated, and again direct link into our calendar. But I'll come back to another way to get into events, how to see them, how to register your interest. Again, as I said, this slide has not been updated since December, so if you are clicking alongside with me, you will see very different left and right images. So to sign in, there's 3 different places of signing in: right at the top, as I indicated, in the middle, and then at the bottom. Each of them is identical, i.e. you sign in the same way, and you sign in with your username that was sent to you most of you got your user number that you've had for a number of years, and if it's new, you will have had it sent to you recently. Your username was sent again when you first became a member, or when you were transferred over to this system. If you don't know it, please click contact and we'll provide you with that details. If you don't know your password, again, click the forget your password and go through the steps it takes you through to renew and re-put a new password in, and you'll be able to get in. So as I said, it's in two different places. Once you get in, you will see this page. And this is where you have the ability to go and find communities of practice, regions you want to belong to, information about you, your invoicing, your CPD, all is available from this profile page. Some of it, as you were registered as members, gets pre-populated when you fill in the membership information, but a lot of this you can update and amend yourself. So for example, I've put a photo again against me for those people that don't know what I look like, but you can put a picture or ideally a photo. We'll see next slide in a moment. So that's what the profile page looks like. As the previous image says see next slide against that number 15, because that's the number of groups. So groups are where you can say that you're interested in finding out more information. You can see events that we've hosted and blogs and photos against those. But you could see who is the lead administrator for those particular communities of practice. And these are all of our communities of practice and all of our regions. You will probably have a very different image to me here, because I'm an administrator for every single group that we have, so I've got none available to me. If you've got, so I said, if you are looking at what your profile says, some of you will see a different message there. Next page, go back to click on profile, and you can see actually I haven't finished yet. It says 85% complete. There is more work that I could do to make my profile 100%, so it shows you a green line as you go through. It asks you to confirm your email address, and if you wanted to change your password in here and you want to change your username, you can do. But what we're going to do now is go through these tabs on the left hand side. So the next tab down is informations and settings, and this is where you can choose to receive emails against any of the groups or the central emails that come out on a weekly basis as and when we update members, bring new members in, update the system. It will tell you if I put a blog on or update, say we held a regional event, and that goes onto the website, goes onto the portal, you will have that in the weekly email that comes out to you. So although I know some people have chosen not to have that, it's actually quite useful to see what we're up, what we've done, what we're up to. I'll go across the top further down today's webinar, but I just wanted to then go to the contents and feature tab, the fourth tab down, where you have the ability to upload your own CV. New members, and I know there are some new members on this call, your CV that you had to put in when you became a member is on there. Those of us that were transferred across probably have not yet done that, but you can update a CV if you're interested. And so that's contents and feature page, as well as information and settings. The next one down is a really useful, really informative tab, and really helps you understand how to find your invoice that you will have paid against, so you can claim expenses, or just to see, if it's still outstanding. So payments and history invoices. It's by default open status, and I've got, because this is me, I've got no invoices. But if I was to when we get to April and we renew the membership year, it will show the invoice that's outstanding for me there. If you go to close, if you've paid, if I was to click on close, it would show my invoice, and I'll be able to download that and have a look at it. And then if I go across the top, event registrations, and again, this was taken in December. This has definitely been updated because there was an event last week that I attended, and there are a few more events now listed on the system. So that will show the events that I have logged myself against. And the next slide goes to the membership tab. And here we can see that I have paid my membership fees because my balance is 0. but we now have the ability to have a membership card. You get a digital badge, as well as actually the ability to have a digital card, which is automatic through the system. And this is what mine looks like. Again, it shows my member grade, shows my membership number, and I can print this, I can download this along with the digital badge that you will get as a member. The next tab on the left-hand side is professional development. I'm not going to go into this because we covered this off in January, because we're in February now. We covered this off in January. But just to say that it is mandatory, or certainly preferred, that you log your CPD points, i.e. attendance at webinars, conferences. Own private CPD is logged because there is a minimum number of CPD points that you need to achieve through the membership year, which is 1st of April to the 31st of March. And that process to log it and to view it and to understand how we operate that is accessible through the button that says instructions, which again is a blue button, and equally on our YouTube site now is last month's Lunch and Learn, where we went through CPD development. Now I want to go on to the focus of today's webinar, which is all about individual accreditation. And I'm going to take you back to the home page, the front page of the website, again to the drop-down menus at the top, which I said at the top, the upside down triangle enables a further drop-down menu. We now have drop-down menu which shows where the individual accreditation page, and there are now two options to the right-hand side of that. So application registration, i.e. a brand new application, and secondly an upgrade application, and I'll cover both of those off over the next few moments. So if you were to click into the individual accreditation page, this is what you see right at the top. This bit here is what you see right at the top, and this is the next bit below that, right at the bottom of the page. The pertinent point to mark here is that if you are not logged in, this is the standard page. This is what you see as anybody going to our website, and I'll explain the difference in a moment. So if you are wanting to find out information, there is information here as high-level information as to how our accreditation process works, and there's the what the 4 levels are on this image. I'll come back to this in a moment in a bit more detail. Right at the bottom of the page, it says new application, as it does at the top, and it also says now the fact that you are able to upgrade your application levels. In the middle of the page talks about the qualification apprenticeship route against ERIC, which you can see here as enrolled, registered, incorporated and certified. And we enable anybody who is achieving and undertaking their apprenticeships at both level 3 and level 6 to get onto their accreditation pathway. Level 3 is through the enrolled status, and that is by A, being a member. Very important, you need to be a member, and B, supplying us with the evidence of your apprenticeship certification once you have completed. Level 6, again, you need to be a member, and again, fill in the application form and provide us with your certificate. And that is both for the VQ and the apprenticeship. Incorporated, there is an additional step, but I will cover that as we go through. But essentially, incorporated, you do need to go through the professional interview state as you go up the levels. So that's the main page that you see under individual accreditation. If you actually want to then do a new application and want to put yourself forward for professional accreditation, you need to log in. What you're going to see next is only available behind the login as a member. So you would click on that and it will comes up with the next page to say login. Then you get to this page, and again, the next few slides, I've sort of cropped the screenshots from the page because it's a very long page with a wealth of information and a wealth of links within the page. But it opens up with, again, our picture of Eric. So enrolled, registered, incorporated, certified. And this table here shows how you go through each of the various pathways that are available to you, and what you will get sent to you depending on the pathway that you are choosing. And you can see here, as I've just indicated, if you go by the qualification route, the level, how you go through that process. So incorporated, as I've said, fill in the application form and you will have a professional interview. Enrolled, fill in the application form and provide us with your certificate of achievement. Further down the page, the next bit below that page is the steps. So starting at the bottom, so we go up 1 to 6, complete the register, prepare, complete the level pack, secure a sponsor, submit for assessment, assess a review, award, and next steps. As we go through the next few slides, we'll go through that in a bit more detail. We've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, complete the self-assessment guide against competency framework. I'm going to open that in a moment. Complete the online application form. I'll come to that after we've gone through the competency framework. Once it's been completed, it comes to the back end, so to Nadia and myself, and you will then receive Outlook communication from us, so Outlook emails from us in terms of what the next steps are. Once you've completed your level pack and you are going for certified and incorporated, you will have the ability to book an interview. One of the changes that we have made to the accreditation process is the ability to book those interviews online, and you will start to see those in the events calendar as we get closer to the deadline, which we have now also added into the accreditation process. And by that I mean, once you have your level pack, you've got 6 months to complete the level pack and submit, and therefore your interview will be shortly after that 6-month process. And so watch this space and communication from us as we start to put those dates into the calendar. I said on this slide, we're going to click on the blue. So again, a reminder at the top that when I said everything that's in blue has a link. Imagine I've clicked on that. If you're following me and you're logged in, hopefully you can do that. But the competency framework that we're going to, this is a separate page. And I've ringed this because this is also accessible on the home page. On the far right tab, the drop-down menu has the competency framework visible, but it is only visible if you are logged in. It is not visible if you're not logged in. And you will see that's a career development competency framework. I'm now going to go on to the blue buttons below here. So the first button I'm not going to click, but the first button I'm going to show you the screenshot of is the competency framework. And I have only taken one page from this. So one of the competencies, I've taken the last one, personal and professional commitment, and I've just copied and pasted what the document says. So against only 3 of the levels. Again, if you are logged in, you will be able to find this, you'll be able to see this, but it just gives the demonstration and the wording that enables you to understand what level you might be able to apply for and whether you can actually demonstrate that in your level pack as you go to complete the level pack. If we go, go back to this page, the competency discipline framework blue button is where I am going to go to next on this page. It is small, I apologise for that, but again, if you've got access to it, you'll be able to have a look at it. It's a very, very detailed 20-odd page, 2-page document which details the 19 competencies, and I'm going to share those in a minute, and how they all link across the 4 level tiers and how we have linked those to the standards that are available, and how you can see it all maps into the Engineering Council and the National Occupational Standards and the British standard that's now available for project control. So the competencies down the left-hand side. So again, I've used the personal and professional competency, the description of the competency for project control, and I've listed that because we've actually taken it from the Engineering Council spec and amended the words to make it relevant to project control. And then we've got enrolled, registered, incorporated and certified, with the knowledge, skills and behaviour alongside that, and how it maps against, as I've said, the Engineering Council UK spec, the British standard and the National Occupational Standards. The 19 competencies that you will need to ensure that you can meet, have met, and can demonstrate when you complete your level pack are here. Just again, for further information, and when you want to come back and read through this and remind yourself of this webinar, I've included them into this slide deck. If I go back, so this is skipping back to the page for the accreditation application. And again, if you're following me, do click back into that. So into the middle of this, it actually shows that now we have enabled you to have four routes to have accreditation, and those are against cost, estimating, planning, and project control. And we've also enabled and written the framework and the level packs to ensure that you can, as you go through your career, most people sort of transfer through being, and I'm going to use project control apprenticeship as a prime example in this. The level 3 apprenticeship is only available as a project control apprenticeship. It is not divided into the disciplines. So therefore, if an apprentice starts at level 3, they do project control. As I've already indicated, they're able to apply for enrolled. So at the top here, that's enrolled project control professional. They then may choose to specialise, and the picture below shows it as planning. So they could go through and do their next step of the accreditation process as registered. So that would be our Plan P, registered planning professional. Again, incorporated, they could do that. But as they go through their sort of years in project control, they may well get the opportunity to become back to being a project control professional and understand and be across all the core disciplines. And therefore, from that perspective, to get chartership certified, it becomes you can do your certified project control professional. Certified equals chartership. The route to chartership, the route to certified is identical. The level pack has been written to ensure that when we get our chartership status, you will have, all we will do is change the word chartership from certified. The way to get to there is exactly the same. The level pack has been written to ensure you can have chartership. Further down the page, right at the bottom of the page, there's some frequently asked questions as well as more links. So I've gone through the fact that we've logged this against the National Occupational Standards, logged this against BSI, and I've logged this against the Engineering Council. The links to those three are here if you wish to go through to them. And there is interview guidance, again, that we have written that will go to you alongside the level pack. And as you go through the process, there is further help for you as you go through this process. And that's all available on the website. Right at the bottom is the application form. It's an online application form and it's all on this screen here. So I haven't counted how many boxes you need to fill in, but that is all you require, as well as your CV, any other information you wish to share with us. If you're doing it through the qualification route, you need to ensure that you upload your certificate, which level that you're at, and you need to provide us with your sponsors. And you can see those that are red starred are mandatory. You won't be able to press the blue button submit without filling those in. You need to say which discipline you're interested in and which level you feel that you have benchmarked yourself against. And so that is at the bottom of that individual application website that is now available for the accreditation. And as I said, once you have done that, it comes into the back end, and Nadia will be in contact with you as to the next steps, invoicing, how you do that. If you are a member under a company member, there is discount available for you as being part of a company member. So there is a slightly different price bracket for individual members, whether you are working for a company member or not. And that information is also available on the website. I said right at the top that we also now have the ability to upgrade your application. And I know there's one on the call, and I know we've had some applications in already since November where people have already started on the journey of accreditation and now want to take their next steps, be that up to certified or incorporated. The people are now wanting to understand how they can do that. The website has now been updated to ensure that actually that's also an online process. And if I may remember to click the right button, perfect. You'll go back to this slide up here and you'll see that that's now also under this individual accreditation by clicking upgrade application. And that takes you to this screen. Again, a couple of screenshots on the one slide to make it easier, but there are 3 boxes here that are mandatory, you must fill in, and that you are aware of A, timescales, B, there will be a cost, what level you are applying for. Press submit. Again, that will go to the back end, and you will then start to hear from Nadia and ourselves as to what is the next step. So if I go back into the portal, having gone through the accreditation process, I'm happy to take questions when we get to the end. But if I go back into the portal and what is available, I did say at the top that we have the ability here to send messages, post information, share information, and you can see that here is my feed again from just before Christmas, when Donna posted into the Northeast group that the first event, and it was last week, very successful event in Middlesbrough with the risk, with our risk community, nearly 35 in the room. But you can see that, you know, and many of you I know that are on the call have had these communications go straight into your inbox from creating messages and feed from the members portal. Go back to information and settings on these 5 tabs here. One thing that we are trying to encourage, and certainly helps within company members, or even as an individual member, you can refer people. So you can click on this button here and you can say, by sending a link, sending a message directly to that person, hey, you know, come and join us, come and join in the community, put their information in. We can log that. We can see how many people are doing referrals, and there's a couple of people doing really well with referrals. Some nearly at certainly one nearly at double-digit numbers on referrals. So they're really using the portal to its maximum. Next page is going through inboxes. So emails, you can send direct emails on the system. Again, this is from just before Christmas, because my inbox has increased since then. I had one yesterday, and you can see which ones you know, I've responded to, messages, who sent me messages, and you can put pictures in the messages. You can create so you can use the messaging and inbox as you would do your own Outlook inbox. And here's an example of something that I sent out to everybody from last November when we were in MOTS in Birmingham. Upgrade memberships, mentioned at the top, that right at the top, that you can now upgrade your membership through the system. Again, you need to make sure you have logged in, and we've now made that mandatory. So if you were to click on upgrade and you're not logged in, it will come up with the member login before you can apply to upgrade your membership. Once you have logged in, you get this next page. So which membership grade would you like to upgrade to? Please provide a new CV, any supporting evidence. And in particular, we've ensured that we get mandatory information if you are applying for fellowship that is sometimes over and above what's on the CV, depending on the CV that you have upgraded. And I say that because if you're submitting a project-based CV, it doesn't always have the right information that we require for fellowship. So we've now put that as a mandatory box in. And again, blue box, submit, that goes to the back end. Events, wanted to show that actually from the home page, you can see events. Again, This screen is an old screen. It's now got a webinar that's being hosted on the 10th of March. And I think it then goes into a couple of the regional committee meetings that are occurring over the next few months, of which you're more than welcome to participate in if you wish, and it's relevant to you, as well as it now shows our conference, and will start to show the risk events that I've now got a calendar for the remaining of the year. But this is all available under events. They're all listed there and you will see them. And then really my last slide highlights the conference. Tickets are available, tickets are selling. Going to be in Manchester again. Control, skills and authority is the themes. Awards, they will be announced, or the finalists will be announced next week, and our awards evening is going to be on the 13th of May. So I'm going to stop sharing so that I can see people's faces and see if there are questions, and open it up to the floor if anyone's got any comments. Unless, as ever, I've dulled you all into no communication. Okay. If no one's got any questions, thank you for your half hour. This will get uploaded to YouTube, and the slides will be available through the portal over the next couple of days. So if that's all, I will end recording and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.